Hey guys, we're gonna go over a quick oblique sequence that you can do today. So we're gonna start in a plank position and we'll focus on the right oblique first. From that plank, you're gonna pull your right knee towards your chest, cross the right foot in front of the left, swivel the feet so that all 10 toes are facing the side. From there, you're taking little pikes up, little lengthen down, little pike up, lengthen down. As you pike, the shoulders will shift slightly back behind the wrists. As you come down, they'll come slightly forward. As you come down, you're still wrapping through the abdominals so that we're avoiding any sinking through that waistline. You're pressing down into those arms, so you will feel some upper body activation as well. We're gonna take 10 of those, exhaling as you pike. Once you hit your 10, we're going to open this up into a side plank. So you'll be shifting your right hand underneath your face, rotating open. Those feet can stay where you have them. Little pulses up at those hips. Lifting with that bottom oblique. You have the option to have the hand on the hip, up towards the ceiling, behind the head, whatever you choose. Pulsing up, closing that rib cage, wrapping through that waistline. You'll square back off, knee to the chest. Come down onto the elbows. Now from here, dip the hips to the right, back to the center, then back to the right. So only dipping to one side. As the hips come back to the center, we're making sure that we're not collapsing through the pelvis. So we're keeping that lift, just dipping to the right. If there's any tension in the lower back, those hips can be a little higher. You see I have my hips a little higher here to avoid collapsing through the front of my pelvis. Bringing the hands back up, knee to elbow. So that right leg is slightly externally rotated. When we switch sides, I'll show from a different angle so you can see from another view what that leg is doing. But it's opening up kind of like a frog, bringing the right knee to the right elbow, trying to keep the shoulders as square as possible. Taking 10 of each of these. You can always repeat this. So now that the right side is all finished, you should feel a decent amount of burn through that right oblique. We'll switch sides. Coming into that plank position, showing you from a different view. Left knee pulls towards the chest. Left foot crosses in front of the right. All 10 toes swivel so you're on the sides of your feet. Little pike up and down and 2. You can see those arms activating as the shoulders will shift slightly behind the wrists for those pikes. You're using the exhale as you pike. Inhale as you extend. Again, as we extend, making sure that we don't collapse into a stretch, dropping the pelvis towards the floor, keeping it in that elevated plank position. Shift the left hand under the face, open up, little pulses up. I prefer the hand towards the ceiling just because I feel like sometimes on the hip, I press down into that hand too much and it feels like extra weight added onto those little pulses that I'm already doing up. But again, that top arm is personal preference. Once you square off, you come down onto those elbows. Now, this time the hips just to the left and center. Left and center. Left and center. Every time you come back, make sure the ribs are closing. Pelvic floor is lifting, belly button's always pulling toward the spine. You're pressing down into the arms so that we avoid collapsing the shoulders. We're keeping that upper body active. Make sure you're breathing. Once you hit 10, you're back up on those hands, and now knee to elbow. So you can see from this angle, that leg is slightly externally rotated. Opening that out, you're gonna feel a burn through that left side of the waist. Exhale as you bring the knee in. Back of the neck is staying long. Once you've hit 10, we're just gonna finish it off with one more exercise. So you can lay down onto your back. I'll show you from a slight angle so you can see what's happening. I like to start with both knees bent, float one leg into table, curl the upper body up, twist the opposite elbow to the knee, and then extend the other leg. That's just gonna keep your back safer as you get into it. From there, you're staying curled up as you alternate from side to side, opposite elbow to knee. I like to pump the breath as I'm going, so I have an inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. If pumping the breath doesn't feel good, just make sure you're breathing. As you're switching from side to side, think of the body coming up and over so that the abs stay active the entire time, trying to stop that knee as it comes in just over the hip socket. If you're taking the 2 inhales, 2 exhales, that's 1 set, and you can do 10 sets there, right? If you want to count it as singles, it's 40 singles, right? But I prefer thinking of it as 10 sets. Once you're done, bring one leg down at a time, roll to your side to sit up,